Time for another mailbag edition of NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. On today's show, we are going to answer the questions that folks submitted to us on our live show on Wednesday, or on Monday rather, using the hashtag NFL or Super Chatting. And you may be saying to yourself, how do I be a part of these mailbags? Well, you can join our live mailbags by subscribing to the channel. And the best part about it doesn't cost you a thing. It is absolutely 100% free. Turn on notifications. That way, you too can be a part of our mailbag shows that we do here on the channel. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. All right. A $5 super chat to get things started. Raider Nation showing some love. There's only one nation. Raider Nation. Raiders. I can't quite do the Jeremy Chugs on that. But, yes, there is only one nation. Raider Nation kind of funds Chat Sports, makes our lives and jobs a lot easier. But PG2869, thanks for that super chat there. Marcus Peters, I think that's a good signing for the Las Vegas Raiders. They need it. They needed help in the secondary. Marcus Peters makes sense. So, yeah, I'm sure you're pretty happy about that one. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Laura with the hashtag NFL says, should the 49ers trade Brandon Allen away to a team that needs a quarterback? Brandon Allen, I hope that producer Trace doesn't get mad at me for saying this. The Arkansas legend himself, I'll be real with y'all, I don't think there's much of a market for Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen, I'll say this. Coming out of college, we saw him ended up getting a few starts with the Denver Broncos, and he actually had moments where he looked somewhat serviceable. His career stats, 10 touchdowns, 6 picks, completion percentage around 57%. The 49ers can try, but I don't think anyone's, just begging to pick up that phone for Brandon Allen as far as that goes. So, should they try? Yeah, but I don't think anyone's giving up anything for Brandon Allen. But it's a nice thought, though. Eric writes in, I have the number one pick for fantasy football draft tonight. Who should I draft? Man, we're already there. We're already talking fantasy football now. So, first off, your first mistake, Eric, is you never do a fantasy football draft before the preseason is over because you got injuries and all that. Like, I personally don't want to draft a guy, and then he plays in a preseason game and he's out for the rest of the year. So that was your first mistake, Eric. But since you are going through with this, even though I say it's a bad idea, let me tell you this. The number one rule when it comes to fantasy football drafts is to not draft a quarterback with the first pick. Go with a running back. Go with Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs. Go with a running back, whoever it may be. McCaffrey's probably your guy there as far as that goes. But go with a running back with that first pick. Thanks for the question there, Eric. Cameron writes in, who are your top 5 contenders and pretenders for this season? Contenders-wise, you obviously got to start with the 2 teams that were in the Super Bowl last year. Chiefs and Eagles are going to be right back up there again. I think San Francisco is going to be good again. I think Cincinnati and Buffalo are also going to be good as well. That gives me 3 plus 2. That's 5 contenders right there. Pretenders, the frauds of the National Football League. Now, that one is a little bit tougher. The teams that think they're good, but they're really not as good as advertised. I'll call them a pretender because some people are talking Super Bowl. I think they'll be good, but just not great. I'll put the Jets as a pretender as far as I'm concerned. There are some folks, I think I heard Colin Cowherd say recently that he expects the Rams to make the playoffs and to be a bounce-back team. The Rams aren't going to be very good. That's a pretender as well. And when I talk pretender, my definition of pretender is a team that people are hyping up that think is going to be good, but should not be. I'm not just talking about the bottom teams in the league. Another pretender, the Minnesota Vikings. That defense is awful. I don't expect them to make the postseason. So that's 3 pretenders for me. I'll also throw in the Cleveland Browns. I don't think Deshaun Watson and that team is going to do anything despite the expectations of them looking to bounce back. So that gives me 4. And now I need one more pretending team. I think it kind of goes without saying it's been 20-plus years, 25-plus years since they went to a conference championship game. But how about them Cowboys? That's the definition of pretender, is the Dallas Cowboys. So I'll add the Cowboys to this list when it comes to pretenders there. Marky Mark says, heard Budda Baker was reporting to camp. Will he still get traded? I have my eyes on Budda Baker potentially being ousted of a move of some sorts happening in the very near future. I know he's reporting to camp, but think about this. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, how bad you are going to be, and you have not one but 2 first-round draft picks in 2020-24, you have no incentive, no reason to be good next year as far as that goes. Budda Baker is not on your timeline of when you are looking to get back to the top in this rebuild. The money that he requires, the Arizona Cardinals need to get him off the books. And he doesn't want to be there either. So I do think that we will see Budda Baker at some point in time. Don't know if it's now before camp or if it's going to be later on by the trade deadline before the season begins. Budda Baker, at least if the Cardinals are smart, and obviously to get to the position where they are now, they aren't too bright. But if you're Arizona, yeah, you probably should be moving on from Budda Baker and get what you can for him at some point. Let somebody else take on that contract, get some draft capital back, start building for your future, and get a guy out of there that doesn't want to be there. So, yeah, I think Budda Baker is getting traded. Just a matter of when, not if, as far as that goes. What do you think? Should the Cardinals trade Budda Baker? Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Why for yes, in for no, if they should trade Budda Baker or not. Next question comes from Michael. Do you think Denver will trade Courtland Sutton? Michael, very good question there. We've seen Courtland Sutton's name thrown around quite a bit when it comes to trade rumors over the last several weeks. And I think that Jerry Jeudy is kind of the future of that offense, right? They picked up his 5th-year option. He had a nice finish to 2022. Now with Courtland Sutton, here's a guy that has been up and down, right? We haven't seen the consistency from Courtland Sutton. And he's also had the health issues as well, as far as that goes. And so with that all being said, I think Denver would be willing to pick up the phone and listen, but they're probably not going to take an offer unless they can't refuse of some sorts. Because with new head coach Sean Payton coming in, with all that pressure on Russell Wilson, I think they're going to try to do everything they can to help Russell Wilson succeed and put him in the best position to perform. That would include having Courtland Sutton around as well as Jerry Jeudy. So I don't think that we're going to see Courtland Sutton traded at this point in time. We're selling NFL jerseys now of your favorite rookies on sale at chatsports.com/NFL jersey. That's chatsports.com/NFL jersey. Guys like Christian Gonzalez, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, several others, all your favorite players. We have them all in one place. And now's a great time to get these jerseys because you'll get them in time for the start of the NFL season and for the a great time because these guys are about to start their hopefully long careers with your favorite NFL teams. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today, chatsports.com/NFL jersey to represent your favorite rookies. That's chatsports.com/NFL jersey to get yours today. XD Gamer 2022 says, Jacksonville Jaguars still win the division and put the Jags in that pot. I'll say this about the Jags, okay? The Jags are going to be such a huge beneficiary of playing in a terrible division, okay? The Texans are going to be improved, but they're still not going to be great. The Colts, I think, are going to be the worst team in the NFL this year. And then you got the Titans, who are kind of just treading water at this point. The Titans aren't going to be great, but they're not going to necessarily be average. It's just kind of good to a little bit above average as far as that goes. The division is easy for Jacksonville. Now, you look at that team, and Trevor Lawrence, remember, as good as he was last year, he was inconsistent at times. In the same game that he led the comeback win against the Chargers, he threw 4 interceptions as well. So what does Trevor Lawrence have for year 3? And needs to do a better job taking care of the football, if we're being real with y'all. The defense, I think the Jags can win 10 games, maybe 11 this year. I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, but they'll be a decent football team. Roger wants to know what's going on with Rashod Bateman. Will he get traded? So there's a lot of talk when it comes to Rashod Bateman about his future with the Baltimore Ravens organization. Former first-round pick out of Minnesota. This is a guy that the Ravens have gone all in on. Remember, they traded Hollywood Brown because they believed that Rashod Bateman was ready to be that number 1 receiver. And Rashod Bateman has been injured a lot in his first 2 seasons in the NFL, and that's really held this team back from what they want to do in the passing game. Now you bring in Odell Beckham. You also bring in Zay Flowers here. I would give it one more go with Rashod Bateman. I know some people are saying, well, that wide receiver room's getting crowded. I mean, Nelson Aguilar had a really good offseason as far as that goes. Is it time to give up on Rashod Bateman? I don't think so. And I think the Ravens are going to keep Bateman around and see if they can figure this out with Rashod Bateman. I think you've invested too much at this point to turn your back on Rashod Bateman. I think Rashod Bateman's going to stay in Baltimore. What do you think? Will the Ravens trade Rashod Bateman? Chime in the comment section. T for trade, K for keep. Let us know in the comment section which one you think it is. T for trade, K for keep.